Hello everyone, this is Shashi from Medisense. Uh, the agenda of this particular presentation is to talk about one of our products called as Medisense Practice. Because of this COVID situation, the requirement or the need for connecting with the patients at on premise or outside has become very important in healthcare dissemination. So we thought, why not talk about the work that we have been doing for last 5 years? Uh, so the software that we are talking about is meant for telemedicine as well as complete practice automation, which includes appointments, EMR management, payment processing, as well as procedure schedulers. In addition to that, there is specialization specific electronic medical records, which targets complete automation of patient records. In addition to that, medicine's practice also caters to practice development. So, what you can do is you can upload your existing patient records and also send education materials to patients via SMS as well as emails. And you can do it completely on your own without having to be dependent on the software consultants. It is also an integrated ecosystem through which you can connect to, you can connect the software to your own websites or other third-party websites, and also share information about patients. Say the test that you have ordered for the patient with the diagnostics, or maybe a prescription with the pharmacy, so that the patients can receive the prescribed medicines, right at their doorsteps. Technically, this is a cloud based solution, which means that you have access to the software from whichever devices like computers or laptops, or even on your mobile device, through which you can view as well as update the patient records, which means you can virtually practice from anywhere. Second is there are mobile applications available for both doctors as well as for patients. Third is sharing the EMR with the diagnostics or pharmacy or even with the patients with just a click. And security wise, it is secure with 256-bit encryption. What it means is the data that is stored by you is completely secured, and it is not shared with anyone else because it is encrypted. Lastly, it is compliant, which means that recently in March, telemedicine guidelines were released by Government of India. This particular software is in compliant with the telemedicine guidelines, which includes, the patient's consent that you have to take before sharing the medical record with any third parties, or there are certain category of medicines only that you can prescribe, uh, for the first visits or maybe for repeat visits. So it also mentions about the software helps you prescribe only such medicines, so that the doctor as well as the patient, both the parties are protected while utilizing telemedicine. So, in a nutshell, with this software, you can automate your entire practice. You can also promote your practice, and you can also manage the electronic medical records of the patients in a very efficient way, so that you can create a lot of information, or you can do a lot of analysis on the data that you collect from the patient, so that it helps you in scientific papers as well. So, in the next topic, we will go through the software and we'll see how it works. Thank you for your time. Now, let's see how practice works. The way to access is just press medicinespractice.com. So, you'll see this website. All the features about the website and the software is mentioned here, which means that you can create your own website, and you can also connect your website with the software. Or if you already have a website, you can connect that also with the software. It says here there is something called as the EMR login. Just get onto that. You can bookmark this particular page by using bookmark manager here. Once you log in, it will automatically let you saves the details so that you can log in easily. Now there are different roles here. One is doctor, second is institution, third is hospital, fourth is receptionist. So each one of these roles have access to the information which is relevant to them or which can be customized by the administration. Let me log in as a doctor first. The moment doctor logs in, he will be having access to the waiting room. What waiting room means is it will show the list of patients who are at the reception or who the doctor needs to look at next. Currently, what I'm seeing here is a ophthalmologist, practice. Now, let me just access this particular patient. Or what I can do is I can just search for a particular patient when they are in front of us. Yeah. So when we see the patient, in fact, if the patient is not at the clinic and if they're outside, you can straight away start a video call with the patient, and patient would also have received a link with which you can connect with the patient and have a video consultation. Let me just close it for the time being. Now, you can also view the previous visit details of the patient. Now, if you look at it, you can see, what are the entries that were made last time when the patient visited. Similar way, you can view the medical profile of the patient, and it is all customizable. Third is you can also look at the trends. So, and this again is customizable. You can mention the parameters which you want to take a look in a graphical format. You can also store fundus images, or you can connect to the devices which captures the fundus images. Now let us look at this particular visit of the patient. So let me say that the patient has come with the area around the high eye hurts. So that's a complaint of the patient. Then you can mention all of these details uh, that is relevant for the right eye and the left eye. And each of these parameters are completely customizable, which means that for lids, if you want to add one more option, which is A, B, C option, you can do that, which means that you can keep adding new parameters for each so that you can just start taking patient notes just with the click. So already there are certain standardized parameters which are mentioned here so that you don't have to enter all of these details for each of the patients. You can order for any kind of investigations here, and also you can mention the diagnostics. It is compliant with the ICD-10 diagnostic codes. Then any kind of a treatment advice. If at all there is a surgery or a procedure that needs to be scheduled, say in this particular case, I will schedule it for 9th. Or you can also view a calendar. There is a surgery or the procedural calendar which you can visit. Or you can simply give a prescription for a spectacle. Here you can also give a medical prescription. So you can, if you press repeat prescription, it will show what is it that you had prescribed the last time. You can also refer this to another doctor. You can also write a prescription note. If at all there are any patient education materials, which there is a way to upload, you can just select that. You can change the consultation charges here. It will also show when the patient paid last. And you can also mention the next follow-up date, because on this particular date, again, there is a reminder that goes to the patient. You can just save and print the EMR. So it will nicely print here. So you can change the language to whichever language of the patient's preference. You can share the entire EMR or only the prescription, depending on your choice. You can email it to patient or SMS it to patient, which goes as a link to the patient. You can refer the case to maybe a diagnostic if at all such facilities are not within your premises. You can also refer the case to the pharmacy for e-retailing the pharma products to the patients directly, or you can refer it to uh, opticals as well. Now let us go back to where we came from. Let me quickly go to the appointment section here. So it's a very simple thing how to manage the appointments. If the patient has already visited, then in that case, let's say I'll just search for a patient structure. So all the details about the patient automatically appears here. So I'll just add Nepal here. Now you can also add references about the patient. Now this reference, what it means is, if at all it's a corporate customer, you can say Air India, or you can just add a uh, new corporate. I'll just say XYZ, and this referring hospital, which hospital or doctor referred the case, that also you can mention. You can also add a referral note, and then this is for the patients to agree on certain compliance needs by the government. So that also should be checked, or it will also send a link to the patient. So let me just straight away book the appointment. So once the appointment is booked, the patient gets an SMS here. This is how patients are going to receive an appointment uh, confirmation on their on their SMS on their mobile. They can actually click on this link. They can look at the doctor's profile, and they can look at the details. There is a terms and condition that pops up. This is mandatory as per the new government guidelines, especially in case of telemedicine, and also for hospitals to share the information with diagnostics or pharmacy. Here, the patient can look at the details of their appointment. They can change the patient details like their address and other details. They can also look at the medical history, and they can change whatever needs to be changing while they are waiting at the reception or maybe remotely. They can also upload the reports on any old reports that they might have, which may be relevant for the consultation with the doctor. And if at all there are teleconsultation, then in that case they can also link with the a link for the teleconsultation video through the same link. So once the patient comes, you can actually start. Let's assume that the patient is at the reception right now. You can also start a dilation timer. So in addition to that, there are several reports that you can make use of. You can basically look at my patients, wherein you can look at the number of patients on any particular day or by week basis. You can also look at drug reports, or you can also create your own reports here. For example, it's as simple as this. Let's say I'll select a patient. Yeah. Now you can create your own template if at all you want to use a specific template. So that would automatically pop up here. You can make any changes, and you can save this as a new template, which will appear on top over here. So this you can basically use for discharge summaries or any other such reports. You can also have a look at the surgery scheduler. Let's assume that we have to quickly schedule, say, a cataract operation for, say, 22nd, and you can straight away go and do the booking, and you will be able to see the list of people for who we have already scheduled the surgery for that particular date. Payments is another very efficient thing that we have created. Now the moment the consultation is over, the patient is going to show this. Then you can also add any kind of so let Let me just go and add this. And also you can mention whether it is cash or card or whatever. So you can mention what is the total amount that has come from cash and card and all that. So it's a very simple, you have the option of single item billing or detailed billing. You can also manage the referrals. It basically tells who sent which patient, and if at all there is a corporate patient, there are details about that. Now this is a very important section. You can actually add a blog, which means that if at all there is any patient education material, you can add all of that here. You can also add a video. You can basically import all of your contacts from a simple Excel sheet onto the software using this button. And also you can create a campaign by writing the content that needs to go via email or via SMS to the list of contacts that you have imported here. Now, in addition to that, you can also build your own website here by putting the right content. And then in settings, there are certain things uh, like which are the diagnostics that you want to add, which are the pharmacies that you want to add, opticals, receptionists. So this is how you give access to the receptionists or other users in the system. And there are a certain settings for the EMR as well. And here to add a different patient education material. So it's as simple as that. It's a very simple system which you can know. So this is the home page wherein you can look at few statistics, and also you can view write-ups from other users. For EMR, you can, so for doctors, EMR is the only page that becomes very relevant in the entire system. They can view at the, view the room, the waiting room, and also they can go through different patient records. I hope this gives a very brief overview about the system. If you have any questions, you can always write a mail to shashi at the rate medisense.me, as mentioned below, or you can always reach out to us on our board number, which is also mentioned. Thank you so much for your time.